days. Gentlemen, looks like the work of a ghost. Let's start by ruling out ghosts.
Well, it's another spooky day here on the Halloween 365 podcast. Oh, I am joined today by my best friend of years and years and years, Mr. Jeff Stanley. How the hell you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Going. I'm surviving, man. It's been kind of crazy here the last few days. We're doing an impromptu episode, trying to fill in some time and fill in some spaces rather than our traditional episode.
Right.
So, Mr. Jeff here is going to be one of our frequent in and out guests and or host, whatever you want to call it. He's going to be here from time to time, filling in for the two J's, Justin and Jeremy. Justin's
Jeff.
out with a headache. It is all J's. What the hell? What's
You
up
should
with
change
that?
it to Triple JC.
The Triple JC. Maybe I should.
No, that's stupid. That's dumb.
Oh,
That's the dumbest thing
it's
I've ever
funny.
heard.
Justin's out today with a killer headache. Jeremy, I wasn't able to get in touch with him. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. So who knows? Jeremy, if you're watching, it's not too late. Come to me. Come to me. Well, we got an interesting episode for you guys today. We're going to be discussing our top 5 horror video games of all time. But before we get started, there is something that I actually wanted to ask you, Jeff. And this is something that me and Justin had talked about. We want to bring people on the show and ask them, have you ever had a paranormal experience or something that you would consider a paranormal experience? What is it? How did it go down? I got to know.
Okay, I believe I already told you. I wasn't ready for this question. This is kind of cool.
I know, I'm so sorry.
I believe, no, it's cool. I believe I already told you about this story when I worked at the, I want to call it the Gentleman's Club, but it's not that. It's the Commonwealth Club in Virginia. But it was men's
Those
only.
are two different things.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I think I'm remembering this just a little bit.
I worked third shift security from 11 p.m. to 7, and that owl scared the shit out of me, by the way.
That's
so-
our ambience. We always play ambience. I should have warned you. It's terrifying. I know.
Well, first they showed me stuff they caught on film of like arched doorways, and you see like a figure, almost like this right here with my hand. So the figure would be doing this, and now the arched doorway, and then this door that had a chain on it, almost like a saloon door, but only one of them. And so on the recording, it just went, and then it stopped. But nothing. It looked like it was fast forward, but it wasn't. The time was normal. And what I caught on my shift was an orb for about 30 minutes in like this tunnel thing that they had leading to the main street into the building. And there's like 2 metal gates, one at the end and one at the entrance. And there's this orb just constantly floating around for like 30 minutes.
See, that's really interesting. I've never had anything like that happen to me.
Yeah.
Would you say now? What would you say the odds are that maybe, just maybe, it was dust? Like, what do you think?
It was not dust because there was dust. The camera's set up at an angle, so all the dust you would see like go up under it. This was very specific and kept doing like this. I know that's like a dumb way to look at my hands.
No,
crazy.
that makes sense. It's it's a pattern. Like there's a flow to it.
And it didn't lose its circular shape. And it was just kind of like it would stop. It would go in and out. At first I thought, I was like, oh, it's probably just a bug really close. No.
Yeah,
But I didn't check that door that night. Supposed to check all the doors working security, and I didn't. I was like, I'm just going to let that thing do its thing. I didn't feel like anything evil or like feel like scared. I mean, I was a little nervous, like I was kind of like, I was like, is this shit really happening? And yeah, that's I didn't feel like it didn't want me there.
Wow, man, that's kind of strange. Like I've never had that experience. I feel like a lot of people, like myself, and I don't know. I mean, Justin's told me some stories that he's experienced, but I've gone looking for these types of things, and they never happen to me. Like
just get a job working overnight
At a
somewhere.
gentleman's club.
At a, well, it's funny because in the basement is where the security office is, and that's where the bar's at, and all this stuff. And it says men's only below because they're sexist. I'm just gonna say it, but
So I'll say this too. What do you think goes on in there? Like, was there anything like Illuminati-esque going on in there? Because I know you said that it was a very
it's hush hush.
kind of a hush hush suit and tie.
Well, it was like the judges and lawyers and like prominent. They said this. I cannot prove this, but they said Daniel Radcliffe, whenever he would come in to America, he stayed at Virginia's Commonwealth Club. That was his like little place he would hang out whenever he was in the area, where he would like, because they have like showers and all this stuff.
Harry
That's what
Potter?
they said. Yeah, I'm like, God, I really want to quit now. Just no.
He had that vendetta against
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe.
It's
It's
like,
like, son of a bitch.
I saw him in that horror movie, and I just want to. No, I forgot. There was one experience I had. This is kind of. Remember, I told you I didn't feel like harm or anything, but I did feel like, I guess, scared. I'm just gonna say it. I was scared.
Dude, we all get scared.
Yeah.
If any human being is listening, ghost included, if
Yeah.
you don't get scared, you're not human. Like, you're not tapped into your fears. That's a primal fear.
Well, I mean, yeah, true. Like if nothing provoked it, I was doing the lights because we have to go turn off lights and close everything up, and you go into the spa area, and I went to the spa area. I remember reaching for the light, and like I just got like this like that. I won't say cold chill, but just like that flush of like shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
And I got that scared feeling, so I just kind of shut it and locked the door really quick. And the further I got away from that spa area, the better I felt. I don't know if it was a feeling of not being wanted there, or just where I saw these things, my imagination was rolling.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know. That's the only time I really felt scared in there.
The closest thing that I think I've ever had compared to that is I at my old house, and you'd stayed there before. I don't know if you ever experienced this or not, but every once in a while you could feel like someone behind you. You know, like that when the air in the room kind of changes. Like, you can tell when there's someone like kind of back here.
Oh, that was me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That was me. But you got there, Chad. Hot Pockets. That's name brand. Yeah.
Wait, what would the non-name brand be? Like
Warm
Stuffles?
Pockets. Just like
Warm Pockets? It's
thick heat sandwiches. I don't know.
Heat sandwiches. IGA. It's
Yeah.
Oh man, great value.
It's food. Eat it.
it's definitely food.
Yeah.
So outside of that, have you had any other paranormal experiences that you can recall, or would you say that is probably the pinnacle of what's?
There's one at Mom and Dad's house, but to answer your question, I never felt anything on my back at your house.
Okay.
Because
Well,
I
that's
was
kinda
always on it.
reassuring.
No, I'm just kidding. That's
Hey,
stupid. Hey. No. I really didn't feel anything on my back. I never had anything paranormal at your house.
Okay, maybe that's just me being paranoid. I think I was just a paranoid individual.
Yeah.
Still am.
That's okay.
I'm on to you, government. You you did tell me a little bit about. I think you may have mentioned this before about an incident that happened at your mom's house.
Yeah, I was upstairs and I was playing Oblivion, and I had like a 30-inch television, and it's like an attic room, so the steps would be to my right, and there's like a banister that goes all the way around. And I had a cat, Athena, at the time, and it's kind of funny how it happened because the only light was coming from the television. That's why I'm telling you I'm playing Oblivion. And you know when like a bug goes like by your eye, like flies
Yeah,
by your
yeah,
eye,
like
you're
that.
like, oh, you just do that. Dad sneezed. I heard him downstairs go like, and then this like shadowy egg-shaped black thing like just went, and it seemed like it was by my face, but it looked like it went up the banister and around, because then my cat Athena went all the way around to the banister and kind of stared at the dresser, and there's nothing, but it was just a dresser that was catty-cornered in the wall, so there's nothing behind it. I was like, Athena, what are you doing? I turned on the lamp, and she was just standing there staring, and that's all that came of that. There was no like thrill. So that could have been a big bug. That could have been something, but I think
Could have been.
what I got in my peripheral was like a black void-shaped egg thing. Just like,
Yeah. Still
that's the only-
freaky though.
those are my only experiences. But the Gentleman's Club, that was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You can say that again. No,
the Gentleman's Club, that was the pinnacle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff. So, I wish I could say I've had experiences like that, but I haven't. But what I have had before in the past are very freaky moments in video games, especially like in the dark, all alone. You're sitting there, you're zoned in, you're hyper focused on the TV, and then something scurries out and scares the living shit out of you.
Yes.
Now that has been the experience with the first game on my list, Dead Space. I assumed we had one on there that was the same, and Dead Space was it. You can still add that on.
No. Yeah, you go through your list and yeah.
Man, I gotta tell you, I don't think this game deserves to be higher on my list, but I'm just putting it in here first because it scares the shit out of me still to this day.
Atmosphere. It has atmosphere, and I think it reminds me of The Thing and Alien mixed. It's really what it's like.
So it's 100% what it's like. Body horror.
It wasn't scary to me. It was like just gross.
Yeah,
it was gross.
Yeah, it is gross, especially the second game. The second game, I think, took that grossness and like through the roof.
Oh yeah, especially the end with the eye level. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's tough.
So nasty.
Yeah, Dead Space definitely ranks up. It's like you said, the atmosphere of that game is just so brutal. The sounds. I know that the developers said that they had gone to like certain like train stations, I believe, to record.
Yeah, I think
some
we're
of
talking
those
about
sounds.
this. Yeah, the director was terrified as a kid of like this, either like a subway train or a train. He grew up, I think he's from East Coast up north, and so just like the train going like ting ting ting, and he kind of took that and put it into the music of the game, just mixed a bunch of noises. But he said he wanted that train to be prominent, so that's also why the save levels to each level is that transit train.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes so much sense now. I never noticed that.
Yeah, there's a lot that went. Visceral Games is no more, man. They had such a history of stuff, but
We are getting Dead Space remake though, or remade, or
it's reskinned, remake.
reskinned.
You know.
Yeah. So if you've never played Dead Space, ladies and gentlemen, pick it up whenever the remake comes out because it'll give you a little bit of a spooky scare. I'm curious, what you got on your list there? Or do you want to do one-on-one, or do you
I'll
want
let
to just
you
go down?
Do your 5 because I didn't put them in an order of like
Okay.
favorites. I just put them on there. So
This one's a little bit obscure. We talked about it briefly. It's a game called The Suffering.
yeah.
I'll try to put up maybe a clip here somewhere in the little area. The Suffering it's a story about a prisoner. I don't remember the story off the top of my head majorly, but I remember it scared me as a child. Came out on the original Xbox, I think in like 2004, 2003, somewhere in that area. You play as a prisoner who's been wrongfully accused of murdering his wife and kids, very almost Max Payne-esque. When you get to the prison, the lights go out, and suddenly, crazy shit ensues. These creatures with blades for legs, like something straight out of Silent Hill starts happening.
Yeah.
You start. Some of the bosses include like ghosts that have been shocked by electric chairs, things like that, all prison themed. It's very Ghostbusters-esque in that vein, but it was like a hard rated M.
Right.
And I remember my brother just telling me, and he's scared. I know he was making this up. He had to be scaring the shit out of me, saying, "Man, I don't know if you're ready for this game or not," because
Here it comes.
I couldn't resist. I don't know if you're ready for this game or not. It's been killing people and giving them seizures and all types of stuff, making them have nightmares, brother. You know, I don't know why I turned into Hulk Hogan. I don't know why I turned into Macho Man at the end, but oh yeah, they've been giving people nightmares. Yeah,
Seizures.
pulls out little coffee creamers.
He's so stupid. He's dead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, he's anyway. Not my
Alright.
brother, Macho Man,
Yeah,
is dead.
yeah.
But yeah, it's the game scared the hell out of me, and his extra little bit of fear that he had to add in there to me just put me over the tipping point. So, thanks for that, Anthony. I'll never forget you.
I mean, you didn't forget the experience, so I guess planting that seed in your head was actually a really good thing.
Yeah, it almost harkened back to the Blair Witch kind of thing. You
Okay.
know, everybody thought it was real, and
Wait, it's not real?
I don't know who told you, bud, but I guess you're gonna be hearing it first here on the H365 podcast.
Nah, that's totally real.
Oh man. Next up on my list, I didn't want to put these two so close together because they're very similar, and I think you already know where I'm going with this, and I think it's already on your list, and I'm gonna be mad if it is. It's gonna be sad. Alien Isolation.
It's not on my list.
Oh wow. Okay, we have
No.
talked about that game a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. If you want to take claustrophobic atmosphere and throw it into a dark lit Ridley Scott hallway, then you need to play Alien Isolation, because I don't think any first person game has nailed a movie quite like that.
I didn't put it on my list because I knew it would be on yours.
Oh, okay. Okay,
and
fair
you
enough,
actually
yeah.
finished it. I didn't finish it. Now, there are games on here I didn't finish, but I knew you would specifically want that one. I had a feeling you would put it.
I love Alien, man.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know me. You know me.
And you've actually finished the game. I made it to, oh God, when you're looking for the doctor's card and then you got to go back to his corpse. I kept getting
Oh,
insta killed, and I was just like, oh my God.
And that's what makes that game so brutal, is the fact that you have no weapons.
There's
mean,
no specific pattern to the xenomorph either.
Yeah, he just randomly shows up.
Yeah.
Like, I think my second playthrough, I'm not going to lie to you, my second playthrough was a lot easier than my first, because he almost never showed up. Like, I almost was able to get away clean cut. But, of course, he does start showing up in some parts because you can't avoid him. But
Do you think it's because you knew where he would be almost? Like you knew
maybe
like, where to go
Like,
as
I think-
well?
Yeah, I think I anticipated it like a little bit more. The first time you're playing it, they hit you with some curveballs that you do not see coming. The scene that sticks in my mind the most, and this might be the same for you, is when you hide under the table for the first time, and the tail flops onto the floor,
Yeah,
and
it
it
comes
just
up the table.
slithers up the table. It
Yeah.
is terrifying. Oh.
That was one moment that sticks out to me. Another moment is this has been like my first experience playing a game where you hide in a locker and you actually have to hold back the stick because he can
Yeah.
like hear you if you're too close using your like sonar, I guess, radar, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the little beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
beep.
And that was a moment because I was kind of like, even I actually went.
Yeah.
So
It'll
it's
do that, man.
yeah,
Alien
fun game.
Isolation will do it. Hands down, like
the best ever.
I know that a lot of people give Alien games shit just because it's an Alien game and Sega made it. And don't sleep on Alien Isolation. People don't, because it's good. It's good.
People that have played it and hated it did not turn off the film grain. That was their problem.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. If you turn off that film grain, and if you, I don't know if the new systems PS5 have it or not, but you want to go for, I guess, performance in this situation, I would recommend. Performance over resolution.
Viva la resolution.
Do
Yeah.
that. Do
Yeah.
that. How many is that? Is that 3? That's 3 for me. I got
That's
2
three.
more.
Yeah, 2 more.
The next one is kind of it's a hodgepodge, because it's not the whole game in itself isn't necessarily scary, but it's one scene within the last 20 plus years that I've seen that made me pause the controller, sit it down, and say, what the fuck? How did they get away with this? Like, how did they get away with this? Resident Evil 8, the abortion. It's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. At least I'm assuming it's an abortion, right?
It's something I wouldn't keep, so it would be.
It's an abortion.
Yeah, it's. I knew something was up as soon as you got close to the bed in that room that said press X to hide. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So I kind of like didn't have a great experience with that. As like I watched some streamers play it and they like had it chase them. I was like, it didn't chase me because as soon as I heard it go, and then it walked around.
Oh, yes.
It walked around the bed. I was like, doop, the other side, and I didn't see it until I got into the elevator. So I had like a horrible experience with it, where it was over in like 2 seconds, because I knew which path to take. Not that I've seen them before.
Yeah.
Just, it's just it was a.
Well, I'll tell you, my nightmare lasted because I couldn't find my way out. And I
Just go back to the elevator. So you gotta do.
You're supposed to, but there's so many other doors, right? And you've got, for those who don't know what we're talking about, in Resident Evil 8, there's a scene where you go into it's a house of one of the antagonists in the game, and for whatever reason, there is a gigantic, like the size of a small SUV, aborted baby dragging itself across the floor and crying in very manipulated tones.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. It's probably the most fucked up thing I've ever seen in a video game, honestly.
Chases you and calls you daddy.
Probably one of the most fucked up things I've ever even seen, to be honest with you, like in any type of media. It was brutal.
It was pretty freaky. Like I said, I actually went back to see what happened if it would eat you, and actually watched on YouTube like people
What
being
does
eaten.
it do? Oh, it does eat you?
He grabs you, and then you start going on feet first down the hole, so you kind of get like a slidey, like slow. He goes, yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. It's
Takes
brutal.
you down like Alexis, Texas.
I'm checking out on that one, man.
Calls it like
You're
I
like,
sees it. Hey,
"God."
hey.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, the baby goes. I heard those
Oh,
noises
man.
before.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, it's a brutal scene, and that stuck with me. And last but not least on my list, and this one's gonna take you for a little bit of a surprise because it's a one that I've played recently, and it's another one that I wouldn't say is necessarily that scary, but it's a roller coaster. And we had talked about this, Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Blair Witch, the game. You start off really slow, right? And your character is actually going to look for a missing boy in the woods that has fallen victim once again to the Black Forest, if you will. And, well, shit just gets worse and worse and worse. And this game is scary for me because of the pure psychological horror that you go through. Because everything is basically rainbows and butterflies when you first walk in. It's a beautiful landscape of a forest, but the deeper in you go and when nightfall sets in, things just get worse. And it's you watch your mental capabilities just crumble right in front of you, and it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I watched you play it, and I think it's not a big budget game, but it looks better than most. Like
for sure.
I'm trying to think of the word. The landscape, if you the forest, the woods. Everything looks good. The foliage, like the leaves on the ground, look really good, and like you have a dog that sniffs things. It's a pretty cool looking game. I tried finding it. It's kind of hard to find for some reason. I think it's where it's based on a true story. No.
I'll never get over that one.
Dude, I'm telling you, that movie's real. You can't convince me it's not.
Oh, man, you know what? We'll have to do some deeper dives into that one.
It's probably real.
It's a real movie. The events aren't real.
Already
Come on.
convinced me. The real
There
story is
you go.
fake. God. No, the game though was pretty cool. I enjoyed watching you play it. I actually want to play it for myself, so I really didn't see the ending, and like some of the middle because I want to play it for myself. But I did see the opening, and I watched you do some of the puzzle like recording bits, almost like Outlast, where you have to look at the film.
Very, very similar.
Yeah.
Where you kind of gotta like, it's weird. It's like time travel almost. Like when you go into these woods, like all sense of reality is lost. Everything is like, I don't know. Everything's legal. Like it's the weirdest thing. Is that a weird thing to say?
No, because you said when the sun goes down, it gets crazy and everything's legal. So you just described the ghetto with trees.
There we go.
In the ghetto.
Fair enough. Well, that's my 5.
It's a pretty good 5.
I thank you. Yeah. I gotta give you one of those. Yeah.
You need one.
I gotta
you
hear
need like
yours.
you need like a clap button. Yeah.
I have one, but every time I hit it, it just sounds like dog shit. So it sounds awful. Maybe I'll find it. Here it is. Are we? Oh. Thank you.
Yeah.
It still sounds awful. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like dog shit at all. I don't think you've ever heard a dog take a shit before.
I don't. Maybe I haven't.
No, that sounded pretty good, huh? It sounded like clapping.
I gotta hear yours though, man. I'm eager. I've been anticipating. I know one because you told me, but I gotta know. Yeah. I gotta know the rest.
We'll start with that one. We'll start with the one I told you. It's an indie game. I actually played it on PS4. It's digital download only. It might still be on there. I'm sure it is. But Emily Wants to Play.
Yeah.
And it's just jump scares. It's not like the best looking game ever, but what I like about it is that they'll leave clues on the wall in the game, like certain parts of the wall or like a whiteboard or something in the kitchen that says like you better run, but it has like a wink emoji. So your instinct in this environment is, oh shit, it's telling me to run, I better run. But actually one of the little, I guess you call them dolls or puppets or whatever, you're actually not supposed to. You're supposed to do the opposite of whatever it says.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it says you better run. If you stand still and stare at one, it won't hurt you. And there's one you stare at. There's one you don't move when you hear it like go. And if they do, it jump scares you. So each one. But eventually you have to make it till 6 a.m. So it's kind of like a Five Nights at Freddy-esque.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
your pizza delivery boy comes to the house, and then the dolls kind of lock you in. But in the game, there's actually a laptop that has like your order, where it says like arriving, delivered, stuff like that, and it's your character like going to this house, and you get trapped in. It's the ending is kind of hard. It's really hard because the main character, Emily, I guess, is with you, and you play hide and go seek with her, but all the other puppets or dolls, whatever you want to call them, they're doing their thing. So if you hear the one, you have to stand still. If the one is in front of you, you have to stare at it. And the other one, there is one where you have to run, like press the sprint button for a few seconds, while also trying to find her, and you're in like a countdown.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and it's not the scariest thing ever, but it's fun once you figure out like it's like an obstacle course. That's pretty much what it feels like. It's like a gauntlet run.
I would love to play this. I always saw it, and it looked like Fear, the game Fear. It's kind of what it reminded me of.
It's more like Five Nights at Freddy's, I guess. If you want to say anything, everything has a specific thing you have to do, I guess. That's one thing I can describe it as, especially like to make it till 6 a.m. thing.
Yeah.
So that's number 1 on my list.
Okay. It's a good one.
Number 2 is Dead Space.
Of course. Yep. We definitely know why we love Dead Space. God.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
Dismemberment, it's always a good time.
Ugh.
We already went over it, so I guess I'm just gonna keep going.
No, it's fine. We can if there's anything that specifically that stood out to you.
Yes. There's one moment that scared the shit out of me. It's when when you walk into like the, I don't know, you call it the necromorph matter. I don't know if it's like the red meat on the floors.
Yeah, the goo.
Yeah, it like slows you down. It's whenever the big tentacle comes out for the first time and grabs you, and you have to shoot off its like knot thing the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
That scared me when it like poof. You're like, oh my god. The only thing I have
well,
is like a plasma pistol or
I
plasma
think in
cutter.
the second game, one of those like grabs you and just like jerks you down this tunnel, basically. And that was so hard for them to animate that they almost completely had to scrap the game.
Jesus.
That is insane to me.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. That scared me in the first game, which is
Yeah,
like
it's
I like
terrifying.
jump scares, but I like jump
Yeah.
scares, but I hate them at the same time.
It's definitely, that's the very definition of love hate.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was the moment in Dead Space for me. I mean, like you said before, they're remastering it, so get it if you haven't played it. It's a fantastic game. Third on my list is Resident Evil 7.
Oh wow, hit me with the 7.
I prefer it over 8. I love 8, but hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
It feels like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, and that's my favorite horror film of all time when it comes
That's
to
fair.
slashers. The Bayou setting is amazing. The kooky family, and then as you go on, it starts revealing more of the original games, and well, to an extent, 8 really explains how 7 is related to the
Yeah,
original
yeah.
games. 7 is just like a roller coaster. It's one of those games. But it did bring back a lot of original Resident Evil stuff of, like moving around an item and finding a hidden lock on it. And it's like, oh, that's the key I need. It had like the 3 Cerberus heads that you had to unlock a
Yeah,
door. It
yeah.
just had like a classic feel to it because when you first walk into the baker's like living room, it has like almost like the original mansion stairway to where it goes up and the balcony around, and there's a bunch of different rooms. So I think
Shadow puzzles. Those are really
Yeah.
cool. I love the shadow puzzles.
Oh yeah, that was awesome, and it gives you a trophy if you mess up the first time. I think if you use one of your coins, I can't remember if you use something that's not the object, it gives you a
Oh,
trophy.
really?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's
That was pretty
interesting.
cool. I'm a big atmosphere guy, I guess. So that's more of me. I like atmosphere, and I think Resident Evil 7 is just oozing with atmosphere.
So
It's a
you can say
fantastic
that,
game.
Yeah. The game's
Um,
brutal.
So yeah, Resident Evil 7 is my number 3.
Let me ask you something about Resident Evil 7, and this is something that I know I've talked about with some other people before in the past, but I don't know, maybe we have talked about this. Do you feel that Resident Evil 7, since it was set up so different than the previous games, do you think they should have kept going in that way and made it like its own individual story, like where it has nothing to do with the virus and it is just these crazy supernatural individuals in Louisiana?
No, because then it would be its own thing. It wouldn't be Resident Evil.
Okay.
I think if they continue to make Ethan games, which I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, is very unlikely. Those should all be first person. Like he has his own specific style. A lot of people hated 7 because they're like, it's totally different. It's not over the shoulder and it's not corny. It is very corny. 7 and 8 it has like Evil Dead dialogue through the whole
Yeah.
game.
It's pretty, yeah.
So it's still corny and cheesy like a Capcom game, which is fantastic. But I think if it was called anything else, it wouldn't have been as good, in my opinion. The fact that it is Resident Evil and 8, like I said, ties in 7 to the other games pretty well, in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
it ties it in very well, especially with Umbrella, how old they are, as like a cult,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, on a future episode, we need to talk about Resident Evil 8, like just the history of Resident Evil in general. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like,
yeah.
that would be great.
I think at the end of Resident Evil 8, when you're reading all those books, you kind of find out, it's like, hey, these are some of the doctors of Umbrella who started the whole thing. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
But
Spencer,
then
or not Spencer, but
I think it is Spencer, I believe.
well, it is Spencer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Spencer. Yeah, he shows
Yeah.
up at the. Yeah. No spoilers.
Yep.
But
No spoilers, but it's the architect alone, like how old the castle is, that lets you know that Umbrella's been here a long time. A long time.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So it's like a Cthulhu cult thing, almost.
yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful game. And I'll even say this: going back to 8, it hits you out of nowhere with that. It's very similar to 7 in that vein of like things aren't always what they seem.
Mm-hmm.
And I love
Yep.
that. I love
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot of games do that, but we don't have time for that. Where like
Oh,
it
yeah.
puts you in a situation all of a sudden. Bloodborne's a great example of,
Mm.
oh, this is a Brothers Grimm Souls game, and then it goes very Lovecraftian.
Surprise, bitch! Cthulhu's in the house. It's
yep.
like it hits you out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic game. I love that game.
Yep.
So that's on my number 3. Number 3 is Resident Evil 7. Number 4, I actually played this last year, and it took me by surprise. It is almost like a side-scroller Resident Evil,
Really?
but it's also a survival game where you don't have any weapons, really. It's called Little Nightmares.
I've heard of it. Never played it.
Really good.
Go on.
It's surprisingly really good. So it's almost like Tim Burton to an extent.
Okay.
So like I can't see if I can describe it without spoiling anything. Some of the boss things that they have in there are almost like Tim Burton-esque type animations. But it's like a side scroller. You're this kid who's escaping like this I guess this environment they're in, like this place where they eat kids, I believe, like they eat them. And you pretty much just you're trying to escape, but your character can also starve along the way, and you have to eat. You have to
that's
eat
brutal.
like random meat. You have to eat stuff along the way. It's very weird. It's a very weird game, but your character will slow down and be like, ugh. And there's as you go, it starts unfolding what it is. It's like a 5-hour game. It's not very long, but it's very well done. It's like a platformer survival type game. I thought it was really good.
I'm
more-
sold.
It's more creepy than scary. So
I'm sold on stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
I love a good indie game, especially if it's done right.
I usually
And-
don't. That's the
Really?
thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of indie games.
Some of them are really good. You know, give them a shot.
Yeah. I've
They
tried.
made a sequel to Little Nightmares as well, right?
Yeah, they made a sequel. I've not touched it. I still haven't finished the first one. I'm
Okay.
bad for that, where I'll play a bunch of stuff and not finish them. I mean
Same.
to. I have intentions, but with time, and now I have like a baby now, so
Yeah,
it's. These games back here, there's so many, and I still need to get to that. So
Backlog.
backlog. Was that your little gong? What was backlog?
So what?
Dong.
Backlog. Go dong. No, I wish I had
Yeah,
a dong.
that was cool. So yeah, that's my number 4, and number 5 is Nightmare Creatures for the PS1.
Oh, damn. Okay. I gotta give you a little bit of a
Yeah.
clap for that, because I did not see that coming
Yeah,
at all. But
Now-
you are 100% right. Go ahead.
it's not scary, but when you play it when you're young, and it's hard. It's a very hard game. So being a game that's difficult is already intimidating. So this game, compared it now, it is a Souls game. It was like a Souls game before that was a Souls game. But
That's a really good comparison, actually.
yeah, it really is. And there's one jump scare I remember where like this wolf creature thing like just pops out of nowhere, and then you can choose a male character or a female character. I don't remember their names. that laugh, you son of a bitch. You have like, if you're the guy, you have like the pole. I remember using him because I was a boy, so I like stuck with my fellas. Anyways, I just started swinging away like, and it was terrifying in the moment, but that game stuck with me, and I don't own it. I would love to own it. It's one of the not extremely rare games to find for PS1, but it'll cost you like almost the price of a new gamer, if not more.
It was. I remember my brother bringing that game home, and I remember watching him play it, and it terrified the shit out of me. And I'm kind of, honestly, up until this point, I'd erased it from my memory until
Yeah.
you just said it, and then I'm like,
It's
oh yeah,
one of the better third-person action titles for the PS1 as well.
yeah,
So,
no, it's. You want to talk atmosphere? By God.
yeah, it was pretty much Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Technically, it's like
Yeah.
Victorian style, like, and they didn't have a music track on it. Even when the enemies showed up, you just heard them like "Roar," with that loopy like "Roar" sound, and then whenever you walked, it was like "Ktu, ktu, 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 So like the sound effects were the atmosphere, and that made it kind of like even scarier because PS1 it wouldn't load the whole level in front of you. So if you're walking down the hallway, there would always be like this black void.
Blackness.
And you just see the walls just coming by you, and that's when something would pop out. So it's kind of it's a hack and slash jump scare game. It's really fun though.
My God, you just took me back, man.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that to be your final pick, but
Yeah, Nightmare Creatures.
I dig it. I
Great
dig
game.
it. My God, do you have an honorable mention that you would like to get in there? Because I've thought about an honorable mention, but I still don't know if it's worthy.
I didn't even think of it. As soon as you told me this, I had like 20 minutes. I was like, I know what I want. And I wrote everything down. I didn't think of an honorable mention.
I didn't even have to give homework, man. You just went for it.
I know what to do. I'm smart. No, honorable mention. If I don't... Let me think. Hold on. I really want to think of something quick because we're recording. The Barbie game for PS2. That game is fucking scary as shit.
Terrifying.
You ride horses? Yeah. No,
You
I don't have
ride
any.
horses.
It's so bad it's scary. There you go.
I'm surprised neither one of us had on our list is Silent Hill.
I'm more of a Resident Evil fan. I'm not a
me
big
too.
Silent Hill guy. Let's be honest. It was Konami's Capcom Resident Evil was
Yeah.
Silent Hill. So
Well, I'll say there's two games on my honorable list. I'm having a stroke today, people. There's two games on my honorable mentions list. I don't really necessarily know if they even should be on this list because one's like almost a movie and the other one is like a bullet hell type of game. One of them is Returnal for the PS5.
okay, yeah.
I'm only putting it on here. It's not scary or anything. It's creepy atmosphere for sure. It reminds me a lot of Prometheus and
Yeah.
Alien. Very Lovecraftian as well. But in my opinion, the premise itself isn't very scary.
No, I mean, if you think about it, anything can be scary, especially like Isolation, where you're like redoing the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
Groundhog's Day meets Prometheus.
100%.
much.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So it's a pretty good game though, and
And the
tough.
other one I want to mention is Until Dawn.
I didn't like it. I think we talked about this before. I just didn't like
Yeah.
Until Dawn. I thought it was
It's not for everyone. And I tried to go back and play it in like a couple of years ago. Actually, not even like a couple months ago, and it does not hold up.
it's just
Not
I
very
don't
good.
I didn't care if these people died or lived. These were the kids in school. I'd have been like, screw these guys. I'm going home
Yeah.
to play Baldur's Gate. Screw them. Like, why do I want to play as these people? And then when they got killed, I was like, eh. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Wendigo thing was awesome. That was awesome.
I will say that that's probably the coolest thing about the game is the Wendigo. Yeah.
But that's it for me. It didn't. I mean, the jump scares, they got me, especially when like looking through the I guess the binocular thing the guy's using, and like he jumps in front of it, the telescope, and he's like, "Boof!" That scared me.
Oh yeah. I kind of
so-
forgot about that. Yeah.
But ultimately,
Well, it's the facial animations in that alone are probably the scariest, just because they always look like they're smiling.
it's like
I don't.
you want to go
know.
kitchen and make sandwiches. Sandwiches.
But they always look so happy. I don't get it.
It's because they're high, Chad. It's because those kids are doing drugs. I just didn't like
Well,
it.
they're definitely doing something. That's for sure. My God, it's maybe one day I'll go back, play it again. Maybe that'll change my mind ever so slightly, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, for me, I beat it. I finished it, and it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
like wasn't like I hated it. But whenever I was done, I was like, I sold it. I was like, I don't think I'll ever revisit this game.
Yeah.
I spent
It is
$15.
Work of a
I
ghost.
got $2 back.
Let's start by ruling out
Down.
ghosts.
Courtesy of Kingston.
Well, that wraps up our show today. Jeff, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, you're always welcome on this show. You know, me and the fellas discussed it. We would love to have you on the show anytime you're wanting to come on. Join us as a fourth individual, or hell, just come on anytime you want. You know, just to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your paranormal experience.
Yeah, no problem.
I like I said, I'm kind of envious of that, man. It's really dope, and the fact that you got it on camera.
Well,
it's even better. Well,
they got it. Yeah.
But you saw it.
I saw it. I did.
Counts.
I vicariously waited in the office like a little girl when I saw it.
I don't have any horror news. Usually Justin's here to give the horror news. I don't even think there's anything extravagant that even went on. I know Scream came out on Blu-ray this week. Go pick that up if you can beat the scalpers to it. There's a cool steelbook. Go check that out. Go to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Leave all that jazz down there in the little bottom. Go to our Twitter page, our Instagram page. That's all I can think of. Halfway to Halloween. We are officially in the month of halfway to Halloween. So that's 6 months away. That'll be fun. We got a lot of content that we're going to be trying to bring you over the month of April. We'll be kind of posting that as we go along. We're recording this episode on a different day. Today is actually Wednesday, so normally we record on Thursdays, but some things happened, some family issues came up, so it's all scattered. So hopefully next time we can get all four of us on here, and that'll be something kind of interesting to see. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting anything? Halfway to Halloween? No. Oh, Adventure, the Summer of Adventure. We're going to be doing the Summer of Adventure. We're going to be talking about Lost Cities. We're going to be talking about some Indiana Jones type stuff. That's stuff that really tickles my fancy. Definitely want you here for that. So that's tickling my fancy. So yes, be here for that.